My name is Paige, and I'm a 48-year-old housewife working full-time. After my daughter Pauline graduated from high school and moved out, I've been living with my salaryman husband Adam and my mother Penny. But ever since she had a seizure, she has had paralysis and a speech impairment. Her mind is clear, but she has difficulty walking or even writing letters, and she required constant nursing. Because I was working full-time, there was a limit to what I could do to care for her. I asked my boss to resign, but then they begged me to stay for a few more months. Because I knew somebody who was a facility manager of a nursing home, I had no choice but to put my mother in nursing home care for a few months until I was able to quit my job. The day before we were going to send my mother to the nursing home, my husband Adam and I were packing up her bags when... The inside of my mom's drawers are so interesting.
The inside of the drawers are interesting? What do you mean?
My mom actually loves funny t-shirts, and underneath her aprons, she's actually wearing these kind of t-shirts all the time.
Whoa, what is this shirt? It says, "Bring it on" written on it. I think your mom and I might have similar tastes. I love this sense of humor.
I'm seeing this one for the first time. There are a lot of handprints on it.
Oh, these are all those hand signals.
Hand signals! I saw this on TV. I know a few of them.
Me too. Look. If you put up your thumb, your pointer finger, and your pinky, here, Paige. I love you.
And the response to that hand signal is, "Come here, come here."
That's the hand signal to get somebody to come over, isn't it?
That's right, but you know that in some countries this actually means to go away.
What? No way! Which meaning did you use it for this time? Hey, come on, Paige, you're confusing me. You're so cute.
Even though it's been 20 years since Adam and I have been married, we're still very much in love. My mom and Adam get along like they're real family, and everybody in the neighborhood knew us as a family that is really close and happy. However, even though we were so happy, immediately after this, we were about to be roped into the worst situation we could possibly imagine. The next day, when Adam and I took my mom, Penny, to the nursing facility, "I am the nursing leader. My name is Sarah. Miss Penny, it's nice to meet you. Welcome to the nursing home." In order to get eye to eye with my mother, Miss Sarah crouched down with a smile and greeted my mom. "Miss Sarah, please look after my mother." "Yes, you can leave it to me. Miss Penny, I will give you a tour of the facilities now. But first, the room that you'll be using will be a private room on the second floor." As Miss Sarah was explaining the facilities to my mom, I whispered this to Adam. "The nursing leader, she seems like a good person. I'm so glad."
Yes, she does. I was a little uneasy about leaving your mom at a nursing facility, and I was against it, but...
"Oh, Mr. Smith!" Suddenly, Miss Sarah was looking behind us and yelled out into the distance. When we turned around, there was an elderly man in pajamas trying to walk off with wobbly legs and an uneven step. "Mr. Smith, looks like your body's feeling well enough to walk today, but that's the front door. Now let's go back to your room." Miss Sarah stepped away from my mom for a moment and she started walking towards that Mr. Smith, but then... As soon as Mr. Smith saw Miss Sarah, for some reason his face went completely pale and he crumbled on the spot. Is he okay, that older man? I wonder if he's suddenly not feeling well. As I was worried, Miss Sarah helped Mr. Smith up and she took him somewhere into the facility. A few minutes later, she came back and we left my mom with her as we said our goodbyes and went home. After that, we were living our lives without my mom at home, but it was quite sad. That's why, after that, I went to visit pretty frequently to the nursing facility where my mom was staying. However, on that day, I was working so much overtime that I couldn't get out of the office until late. But I wanted to see my mom no matter what, and even that was a little bit past the visitation hours of 7 p.m. They let me come to visit. And then, I was walking down the hallway that connected to my mom's room on the second floor, and suddenly, out of nowhere, I heard an extremely loud crash echo through the hallway. What was that? When I looked up, one of the doors to the room up ahead was cracked slightly open. I'm pretty sure that noise just now came out of that room with the open door. I walked over to the door and I cracked it open just enough so that I could see inside. What? And there was Miss Sarah, who had turned around to see me, and the elderly man from before laying down on the bed. That elderly man, that's Mr. Smith from the day we came to drop off my mom. Next to the bed, there were all kinds of things fallen on the floor, and the old man was cowering and covering his head. I just heard a really loud noise, but did something happen? What? No, nothing. But also the visitation hours are over already. Is something the matter? Well, I received permission from the receptionist and they allowed me to come in, because it was only a few minutes after 7 p.m., so she made an exception. Oh, is that so? Mr. Smith, looks like you dropped a few things. Let me pick those up for you. Miss Sarah said that, and she put on a big smile as she knelt down and started picking up the things scattered across the floor. On the other hand, Mr. Smith was groaning and seemed terrified. Perhaps he's the same as my mom and isn't able to speak, but even still, that loud noise in this messy room. I wonder what happened in here. I had some uneasy thoughts, but because I was given an exception and allowed into the facility after the visitation hours, I would be a burden to the facility for me to stay for too long. I didn't ask any further questions, and instead, I went to my mom's room and spent a few minutes there with her. The next morning, in a very pathetic and an unfortunate incident, for the first time in my life, I threw out my back, and I wasn't able to go to the nursing home to visit my mom. Even though I want to see my mom, I can't move. It hurts. I didn't know that it hurts this much to throw out your back. However, I had one other way to see my mom's face that day. Actually, about 2 years ago, there was a huge pandemic in the world of a viral illness. Because of that virus, there were a lot of family who weren't able to visit their family members in various facilities. So the nursing home that my mom was at had installed a video call system for their patients. And so I contacted the nursing home, and they were able to connect me with a video call to my mom instantly. In the living room, Adam and I were sitting in front of the laptop on standby when, oh, there she is! There she is! It's my mom!
Miss Penny! Long time no see. Paige threw out her back, and she's been crying all day.
Hey, don't say something so weird at the very beginning and laugh. On the screen was my mom in the wheelchair, and standing right behind her was Miss Sarah. Miss Penny, look, it's your daughter on the screen. Miss Sarah, thank you for always looking after my mother. Thank you very much. Not at all. Your mother has been doing very well here. Please don't worry about anything.
Miss Sarah, we're very happy that Miss Penny is in your care.
When I looked closely, my silly mom was wearing that t-shirt with the hand signals on it. I guess she doesn't feel like herself unless she's wearing a funny t-shirt. It must be so hard for my mom to move her arm right now. I wonder if she's trying to show me and Adam that she's doing well, even if it takes all of her energy. So as Adam and Miss Sarah were having a conversation, I was giggling on the inside. But then my mom lifted up her right hand, and as it was shaking, she started waving goodbye to me. That's what I thought, but when I looked closely at my mom's right hand, she folded her thumb in, and then on top of that, she folded over the remaining 4 fingers on top of her thumb. At that moment, a bell rang in my head, and at the same time, I had a flashback to a certain memory in my mind, and I felt chills go down my spine. No way! Oh, Miss Penny, are you doing your hand exercises of making a fist and opening your hand? Recently, while everybody is singing, we play this game with our hands like this. And lately, Miss Penny has been showing a lot of people the results of her practice. She's become even better than she was before. Isn't that right, Miss Penny?
Oh, really? Is that so? It's true. She's able to move her hands more than she was before.
Here we go. Make a fist, open it up. Make a fist, open it up. Yeah, very good, very good.
That's amazing, isn't it, Paige?
What? Oh, yeah. And then we finished the video call. When the laptop screen went dark, Adam turned to me and said this. It seemed he must have noticed that I was acting strangely.
Paige, you started acting weird in the middle of the video call. What's the matter?
I was looking down at the ground and Adam was trying to look into my face from next to me. Hey, Adam,
Hmm? What is it?
there's a chance that it could be.
There's a chance of what?
We could be in really, really big trouble.
What? Hey, what's wrong? Paige, are you okay?
After I let out a big cry, I told Adam what I was thinking.
What did you say?
What if? What am I imagining is actually happening? This is a really big deal. At the same time as regretting leaving my mom at that nursing center, from the bottom of my heart, I was overwhelmed with guilt, and then I thought I was going to go crazy from the anger. However, this was all still only in my mind. And there, Adam and I came up with a certain plan, and we also contacted the facility manager of the nursing home, and we started to take action. Then, a few days after we had launched our plan, my lower back had gotten a lot better. One day, at 9 a.m. outside of visitation hours, Miss Patty, good morning. Well then, let's wake up. Hey, I said hurry up and wake up, you lazy old hag. Miss Sarah kicked the bed strongly with her leg, and then she threw out the bed sheets when at that moment, Good morning, Miss Sarah. What? How? Instead of my mom on the bed, I appeared. I asked for a favor from the facility manager, and I borrowed this bed. Miss Sarah seemed pretty shocked, and her foot slipped and she crumbled to the ground. Then my mom in her wheelchair and Adam came into the room. What is going on? What is there to explain? What were you trying to do to my mom? What do you mean? I didn't do anything. Just so you know, it's pointless to play dumb at this point. Over the last few days, we recorded everything on a hidden camera. I pulled out my phone and I shoved it in her face. And there were videos of Miss Sarah yelling insults at my mom, hitting her with the wheelchair, grabbing her by the neck and the arm to move her out of bed. It was all in crystal clear footage. A hidden camera? But why is there something like that installed in a nursing home? The other day, when I spoke to my mom on the video call, I noticed. You thought that my mom was doing the game of making a fist and opening her hand up, but you were wrong. What my mom was doing was the hand signal, which is the call for help. Hand signal? And you said that my mom was doing that to a lot of people, wasn't she? She must have been squeezing out all of her energy to try to call for help to everybody. However, there are a lot of people who don't know hand signals, so nobody had noticed. And I'm sure nobody could have imagined that you, with your perfect outer appearance, was actually such a monster of a nurse. You've got to be kidding me. Oh. So what? What are you doing this to relieve your stress or something? My mom is not your punching bag. Do you hear me? It's not just my mom. With the facility manager's help, we also explained the situation to family members of the other patients. And they all requested to have a hidden camera installed in their rooms as well. Other patients? They were all very quick to agree, and according to many of the family members, they had already recognized that the patients were scared of you. They all thought it was strange, but because they can't speak, that's why you were able to get away with it until now. But of course, you knew that better than anybody, didn't you? And then from the hallway outside of the room, one by one, the other family, members of the patients in the nursing room started to file in. Everybody was glaring at Sarah with anger boiling in their eyes. Everyone, it's just that work was so hard, and I'm so sorry. Sarah with tears streaming down her face on her knees. Miss Sarah, for someone like me who has never been a nurse before, I am sure that being a nurse is even more difficult than what I could imagine. But that certainly doesn't mean that you're allowed to do this. You did something that can't be settled, as just difficulty in the workplace. Oh. And plus, when I saw the footage of you on the hidden cameras, looks like you were having a great time when you were insulting my mother. It made me feel sick watching it. And honestly, I want you to spend the rest of your life paying for this. That was when we started to hear the sirens of a police car outside. Not long after, the policeman came to the facility, and they went straight to Sarah, who was sitting on the floor sobbing. She left behind her own pool of tears as she calmly stood up and followed the police out the door. The incident was taken up by the TV networks and became a major headline. It also became a big topic online, and the internet managed to find a photo of her face as well as her personal information. But according to a social media post from somebody who knew Sarah from school, apparently she was bullying quiet students ever since she was a teenager, but that she always knew how to act like an angel in front of teachers and parents. She was a wolf in sheep's clothing and good at playing the part, they said. She said she did it because her job was so difficult, but in reality she was just a monster who loved bullying those weaker than her. For all the nurses that are actually working so hard around the world, I want her to dig a hole in the ground with her forehead and apologize to them. Although that won't be enough. However, it seems that Sarah's having a difficult time behind bars. Even though her life was going well until now, she must have never imagined that she would end up in prison one day. And I heard that she became so depressed that she wasn't able to get any food down her throat. When the former facility manager went to go visit her once, she said that Sarah had lost so much weight that she was practically just skin and bones. Oh, the reason why I said former is because the facility manager took responsibility for this incident and she resigned. Now she is out in the rural area working on a farm. The facility manager was also beaten up online, but we honestly weren't that angry with her. On top of apologizing to us very sincerely, she was extremely helpful in every way, including with the hidden cameras. Sarah's the one that was wrong. Well then, on the other hand, as for us, I was able to quit my job, so my mom moved back in with us. I am living happily with my family and my mom, and after this incident, feels like we become even closer than before.
Paige! Miss Penny! I'm home!
Adam, welcome home.
I checked the mail, and there was a letter addressed to you, Paige.
What? I wonder what it could be. Oh my, it's from Mr. Smith's son. What does it say? My father talks about you often these days, Miss Page, and he seems very happy. Thank you very much for saving him, it says. Mr. Smith was also tortured quite a lot by that monster.
It's true. Wait, what? There's something else in the envelope?
Wow, a beautiful coaster. The bottom of the letter, it says that Mr. Smith made it. Mom, look, look.
Oh yeah. There was also a package from Pauline. Let's see what it is. Oh, caramel cookie sandwiches. Looks delicious.
Pauline is really studying hard to make her dreams come true. I'm sure Pauline is going to become an amazing nurse.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!